right around the corner. You can see it on the horizon. It's a little blimp right now, but pretty soon it's going to be here. Spring football. What do we want to hear from Texas A&M when we're trying to unpack the intel over on TexAgs as far as spring practice goes? We'll unpack it right now, but if you are new here, welcome. Make sure you are subscribed. College football, nothing but college football. Year-round, baby. Want you a part of it. Appreciate you being dialed in. So when we go check the message boards over at TexAgs, when we put our ear close to the ground in College Station, I want to hear, hey, y'all, Marcel Reed, dude looks comfortable. And when I say that, we all understand being comfortable is more of a vibe, so it's hard to get a tremendous gauge for this. But we all remember going back to school after the summer. Didn't matter what grade you were. Could be college, could be elementary school. And when you got back to school for that first day, it was very obvious who knew where they were going where their classes were, what quad they were in. And it was also very obvious who was new. You got the wide-eyed look, got a little bit of maybe anxiety coming off of them. That's not going to be Marcel Reed when he gets back and rolling for spring football. But I do think there's something to be said for the extra degree of confidence, the extra degree of knowing where to go with the football, being comfortable in this Colin Klein system. I also have said before, too, I think that this system in the Marcel Reed era here in 2025, with him being fully the guy, passing the keys, go ahead and take this thing off the lot, I think you're going to see the offense be, like I said, a lot more tailored to him and his skill set. And so a little clue here for us when we're trying to unpack the intel, I'd be curious to see what's being said about the other quarterbacks. Like, I wouldn't be mad all that much if we're talking about other quarterbacks potentially struggling, and not because they're not good, but because, hey, that play is actually going to be run for Marcel Reed. Hey, that play was put in for 10. So not saying anything of the other quarterbacks, but I'm just saying I'd love to hear that the offense is Marcel Reed-centric, Marcel Reed-tailored, and also the dude looks comfortable, and he's throwing it around the yard. Now, a reason why he should be more comfortable is Texas A&M, credit Mike Elko, goes to the portal, gets some weapons. Most notably, a Kevin Concepcion. Not Kevin Conception, Kevin Concepcion, all right, from NC State. Last year, A&M averaged 7.6 yards a pass. It's not bad. It's not going to probably win you the SEC either. That's right around 50th in America. I want to hear about these. I want to hear about this acquisition for A&M, especially with Concepcion, just having more pop to it. It's like you don't have to have a trained eye to know that a dude is an explosive play waiting to happen. You could watch routes on air. You could watch 7-on-7. I don't care what period the media is allowed to view during practice for Texas A&M. You'll be able to tell if Concepcion from Reed is going to be a hit all season long. You get a feel for that, get a gauge for that. I want to hear that that's what's happening during spring practice in College Station. Now, it might take some time to get some chemistry. It might take some time for KC to totally dial in the playbook. That's fine. But I would love to go check the message board at Billy Lucci's premium message board and hear, hey, 80-yard bomb in the scrimmage today. Reed to Concepcion. Strike up the band. Good vibes. Want to hear that. I think you will hear that because the part about A&M is now that they're always going to be gritty, especially with Mike Elko as the head coach. Nobody's questioning if they're going to be a tough outfit up front. Also, Le'Veon Moss back. Ruben Owens getting help. Like, they're going to tote the rock a little bit for you. But if you can make defenses pay, we've said it before, if you have a exclamation mark onto what that run game is going to be with pop the top on the defense when that safety rolls up a little too quickly, that's where A&M takes the next step and where they become a team that not just competes for a spot in Atlanta, but like they compete for a spot in the college football playoff. Now, on the other side of the football, Kato, correct me if I'm wrong here, spring practice is a little bit difficult to gauge for the defense in my estimations because it's like a lot of it's, Kato's pointing to the cerebral cortex right now, a lot of it's happening upstairs, a lot of mental reps. Also, you're probably taking care of your guys to some degree, meaning if I have Kevin Concepcion coming across the middle, I'm not going to knock his block off. I'm probably going to tag up. Maybe I'll give him a little bit of chin music, but it's not going to be a thing where I'm playing through the echo of the whistle. So something I want to hear about this A&M defense, I just want us to all be aligned and hear, oh, that's Mike Elko's defense. Oh, that's what we heard about when he took the job in College Station, that this team was going to have a certain temperature they play with on defense. And when I say temperature, I mean intensity. I mean swag. I mean attitude. I want this team to feel like there is a certain standard in place defensively. I know you lose some pieces up front. I'm not worried about that. I just want to hear that there is a confidence that regardless of what happens, whether we're in a rock fight or this offense puts puts it together and we're scoring 40 a game, this defense is going to be consistent. It's going to be the anchor, and it's going to be something we can depend on. Torian York back on defense, a captain for him in the middle of that defense at linebacker. He's going to be a guy that I think is a big part of setting that tone. So in terms of intel, what I just said, that's the Mike Elko defense we had heard about. You saw it at times last year. You didn't see it all that consistently. I'd love to see some consistency for 15 practices from this defense. Now, this is the most important thing that I'm going to talk about as it pertains to the intel we hope to hear out of College Station. I want to hear there is another step in the culture that Mike Elko is bringing to College Station. Because when he took the job, that was the drum that we beat on this show until nobody would listen to us anymore. When Mike Elko got the job, it was he brings structure, he brings toughness, he brings a certain way of doing things that bring a clear identity to who A&M is. And the first year of a staff, a lot of the times it is, hey, this staff is keeping those dudes accountable. Hey, this staff means business. That's kind of the things you hear around the program. The second year, though, when you're taking that next step, you hear a lot more about, hey, Torian York, he popped on someone who wasn't doing things the right way during practice, whether it was a positional drill, whether it was during warm-ups. Like there is a clear standard, and now the players are upholding it. Hey, Marcel Reed, he got after somebody because they jumped off sides on a snap count. That's not acceptable. That's not the standard. And so these are very little things. They're very subtle things to get a gauge for. But if you hear things about the players upholding a standard, that's the next step. That's the right direction. And that, again, is the Mike Elko effect, because great staffs, they lead the direction, but at some point in time, they pass it off to the locker room, and the best teams are locker room led. So obviously, we can't wait for spring football. It's around the corner. I mean, spring football games are hanging on by a thread, but as long as they're practicing, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to give you the intel as best we can. So make sure you are dialed in here. Make sure you are subscribed, and excited to talk some spring football here when it gets here, and we're going to make sure we maximize every single part of it. Cato on the ones and twos for myself, J.D. PicKell. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We will keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.